To improve collaboration within a team, it is important to find ways to simplify how workspaces and data sources may be shared. Users may benefit from working with existing workspaces that already have the necessary data prep changes in place, and in doing so, it would help to consolidate and enable the tracking of revisions. This is possible via Altair Monarch Data Prep Studio's ability to connect to the Monarch Server library. To start, we need to establish a connection between Data Prep Studio and the Monarch Server library. In the application default settings, under Altair Monarch Server library, put in the location and alias, along with the credentials that will allow us to access the workspaces and data sources we need. Notice that the MS Library alias now appears under the available list of servers. When we go to Open Data and choose Altair Monarch Server Library, MS Library is now available from this Get Data dropdown. Select that and we now see the containers, workspaces, and data sources that are accessible to the user we entered when we created the connection. We can also access the Monarch Server library from the Open Web File button. Again, choose Altair Monarch Server Library, and our MS Library connection is available from here as well. Finally, we can open a workspace from the Monarch Server library via the main menu. Our MS Library connection as well as other connections will appear here too. This time, let's choose the Daily Sales workspace. We then need to specify the location where the workspace will be saved. Note that we are downloading a copy of the workspace, and we will not directly work with the original one in the Monarch Server library. When using a workspace from the Monarch Server library, it is important that the input and export file paths are properly resolved. UNC paths can also be used so that files are referenced dynamically. For instance, the workspace we downloaded has these input file paths and these reports. Since the local environment also has this structure along with the reports, no errors were encountered when the workspace was loaded. In the same manner, a named exports location should also be available locally to ensure that there will be no errors when the export is run. To avoid such errors, it would be best to export to a shared location, potentially using UNC syntax. Now let's save this workspace to the Monarch Server library. Similar to how we opened the workspace, MS Library is available from the Save Workspace option as well. Let's put in a new name, say Bike Sales, and click on Save as New. Let's put in a comment as this will come in handy when we take a look at the revisions in Monarch Server. Now let's do some prep operations before we save a new version of the workspace. Here we've created two new columns, the billing dates year and quarter. Let's save the workspace again, but this time we are saving a new revision. Note that when working with the Monarch Server library, each save operation does not overwrite the workspace. Instead, a revision is saved to the library. This makes it possible to roll back to a specific revision. It is important that users make sensible comments in their revisions to help understand the changes made. Now let's go to Monarch Server and look for the Daily Sales workspace that we started with. Note the date and comment. There is also only one version, assuring us that this was not updated. Next, let's search for our Bike Sales workspace. Here we see the first version we saved with the comment we put in earlier, as well as the second revision having the new columns created out of the billing date. With that, it is possible to restore a workspace to a specific revision. The comment added during the saving of the workspace or model can make it easier for a user to understand changes and pick the correct one if regression is needed. For more information, refer to the Monarch Server admin documentation or your local Monarch Server administrator. In this video, we've seen how Monarch Server connectivity in Data Prep Studio allows us to work with workspaces from the Monarch Server library, including those uploaded by other users. We can then perform our own data preparation, save revisions, and share these with other users.